If you think spy movies are realistic, I have bad news for you. Real espionage isn't usually about handsome men in tuxedos, drinking martinis and shooting bad guys on top of moving trains. Sometimes, real espionage is two middle-aged British guys sitting in a basement in London, staring at a dead body and asking, "Do you think we should put a love letter in his pocket? Or is that too romantic?" Welcome to Operation Mincemeat, the 1943 British intelligence mission that sounds like the plot of a dark comedy, but was actually the most successful deception in military history. It is the story of how the Allies saved thousands of lives using a homeless man, some dry ice, and a fake girlfriend named Pam. It is 1943. The Allies have kicked the Nazis out of North Africa and are looking at the map of Europe. The next logical step is to invade Italy, specifically the island of Sicily. It is the obvious target. It is right there at the toe of the Italian boot. It is so obvious that Winston Churchill famously said, "Everyone but a bloody fool knows it's Sicily." And that was the problem. Hitler wasn't a fool when it came to reading maps. He knew the Allies were coming to Sicily, so he started fortifying the island with enough tanks and machine guns to turn it into a meat grinder. The Allies needed a miracle. They needed to convince Hitler that they weren't attacking Sicily, but rather Greece and Sardinia. But you can't just send Hitler a text message saying, "Hey bro, we are definitely going to Greece. Trust me." You need evidence. Enter Ewan Montagu and Charles Chumley, two British intelligence officers with very twisted imaginations. They remembered an idea from the Trout Memo, a list of deception ideas written by none other than Ian Fleming. Yes, the guy who later created James Bond. The idea was simple but morbid. Get a dead body, dress him up as a British officer, plant top-secret documents on him saying, "We are attacking Greece," and float him onto a beach in Spain where the Nazis will find him. Step 1. Find a body. This was harder than it sounds, because you can't just ask for volunteers. They needed a body that looked like it had died in a plane crash at sea, but hadn't actually drowned. They found a tragic homeless man named Glyndwr Michael. He had died from eating rat poison. The British government decided to give him a second life. They put him on ice and began turning this poor Welsh drifter into Major William Martin of the Royal Marines. Step 2. Create a personality. This is where the British spies went a little crazy with the details. They didn't just give him a uniform. They gave him a soul. They decided Major Martin was a bit careless but romantic. They put a photo of a girl in his wallet, a fake fiancée named Pam. They wrote passionate love letters from Pam and stuffed them in his pocket. They added a receipt for a diamond engagement ring. They put in ticket stubs from a theater show to prove he was in London recently. They even included a letter from his angry father complaining about his overdraft at the bank. They created a fully fleshed-out human being from pocket litter. They even debated whether he should wear fresh underwear or worn underwear. So a British agent actually wore the dead man's underwear for a few days to break them in. That is dedication to the war effort. Step 3. The delivery. They put Major Martin into a metal canister and loaded him onto the submarine HM Seraph. The submarine sailed to the coast of Huelva, Spain. Why Spain? Because Spain was technically neutral, but the local Spanish officials were best friends with the Nazis. The British knew that if a dead British officer washed up there, the Spanish would accidentally let the Germans see his briefcase before returning it to the British. On April 30th, 1943, the submarine surfaced in the dark. The crew read a song, pushed the body into the water, and sped away. A local fisherman found the body the next morning. Now the waiting game began. The Spanish authorities did exactly what the British hoped. They found the briefcase chained to the major's wrist. Inside was a letter marked personal and most secret from a high-ranking British general to a commander in North Africa. The letter casually mentioned that the Allies were planning a fake attack on Sicily to cover up the real attack on Greece. It was a lie wrapped in a lie. A Spanish officer carefully opened the envelopes, photographed the letters, and then tried to reseal them so the British wouldn't know. The British had placed a single eyelash inside the fold of the letter. When they got the letter back, the eyelash was missing. They knew the Germans had read it. The photos of the documents were rushed to Berlin. The German intelligence analysts looked at them. They looked at the engagement ring receipt. They looked at the love letters from Pam, and they concluded, this is 100% real. Nobody would make up a story about an angry father and a bank overdraft. They bought it. Hook, line, and sinker. Step 4, the punchline. Hitler read the report and panicked. He completely overruled Mussolini. Hitler ordered massive troop movements. He sent entire panzer divisions, artillery, and aircraft from France and Russia all the way to Greece. He even sent Field Marshal Rommel to command the defense of Greece. The Germans spent weeks digging trenches on Greek beaches, waiting for an invasion that would never come. On July 9, 1943, the Allies launched the invasion of Sicily. The German defenses there were thin and unprepared. The troops in Sicily were waiting for reinforcements that were currently enjoying the view in Athens. By the time Hitler realized he had been pranked by a dead man, it was too late. Sicily fell, Mussolini was toppled, and the Allies had a foothold in Europe. Operation Mincemeat saved an estimated tens of thousands of Allied lives. And the hero of the story was Glyndwr Michael, a homeless man who died alone and forgotten, only to become the most important soldier in the British Army after his death. He was buried in Spain with full military honors as Major William Martin. It wasn't until 1998 that the British government finally added his real name to the tombstone, acknowledging that a man who never fired a gun helped win the biggest war in history just by floating in the aisle, water, and wearing used underwear.